Once upon a time, at the Chetavana temple, the Buddha gave a monk a theme for contemplation. The monk, armed with this theme, traveled to a forest near the Kosalan border. However, during the first month of his stay there, his kuti, or hut, burned down. He alerted the lay people to his plight. They all promised to help him rebuild after they had finished their harvesting. However, after the harvest, the people had to replant, so the monk waited. After replanting the fields, they had to irrigate, so the monk continued to wait in discomfort. When they finished irrigating, they had to weed and put up fences, so the monk continued to wait. After 3 months had passed, the monk had attempted his theme of contemplation. However, since he spent most of his time fighting against the elements and his discomfort, he was not able to make any progress. After the rainy season, he returned to the Buddha, who asked, "Monk, did you have a good rainy season? Were you able to release attachment by contemplating the theme I provided?" The monk answered, "No, my lord." And then he told the Buddha all that happened and added, "Since I had no lodging, I was in extreme discomfort for the entire time and could not dedicate myself to the contemplation." The Buddha said, "In the past, even animals knew when to stay and when to leave. How is it that you did not?" After being asked, the Buddha told this story from the past. Once upon a time, the Bodhisattva was reborn as the leader of a large group of birds. They all lived together in the boughs of a tree. As time passed, the weather became drier and drier. The desiccated branches of the trees began to rub against one another. The Bodhisattva observed this and told all of his kin, "If these branches keep rubbing against each other, they will produce fire, which will burn the tree and all of us living here. We cannot continue to live here. The best idea is to abandon our homes and start over somewhere else." All of the birds who trusted the wisdom and guidance of the Bodhisattva followed his counsel. However, the foolish birds thought, "We've lived here a long time, and it was not easy to build these nests. We don't even know if what he said will happen. Why should we risk losing everything based on the word of the leader?" And so, they decided to stay. And just like the Bodhisattva predicted, the dried branches rubbed against each other and sparked a fire. The fire spread quickly and engulfed the entire tree. The foolish birds who stayed behind were overtaken by the smoke before they could react and were unable to get away. One by one, they were burned alive by the raging fire. The Bodhisattva, watching safely from the new tree, felt compassion and sympathy for the foolish birds. Yet he knew there was nothing he could have done to save those who would not save themselves. The Buddha then concluded the story and told the monk, "Monk, as you can see, in the past, even animals dwelling in the tops of trees knew when to stay and when to leave. So how is it that you, a human, with much more capacity for thought and circumspection, did not know?" At the end of the lesson, the Buddha preached the Four Noble Truths, that all things that arise will eventually cease to exist, and that all things are not under our control. The monk, who was actively listening and following along, entered the stream as a Sotapanna.
What do you think the moral of this story is?
We hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you did, and click subscribe if you want to see our uploads.